Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It is Christmas Day, and I am riding solo. Sharon J. Lawrence here, your wonderful host, if you will, for 31 days of healthy relationship tips. And I am alone tonight. Why? Because it's Christmas Day. And I felt like this would be a great opportunity for me to share my input and provide some tips for you all as we go on this 31 day journey together, excuse me. And I see a few of you are already on, so that means that you have opened up your gifts or you've been in relaxation mode all day, which is a good thing. And that's good. So if you're with me, say, hey, let me know you're with me. Don't run away so quickly. And so Dr. Vicky T. Sapp is with me. She knows what it's like to take time for herself. She is a model of that. And I appreciate that. We heard some really good information last night about how to be human beings and not human doings. And so thank you, Sherelle Moore Tucker, for that information last night. Yesterday was truly amazing. But I must say that the past 25 days has been amazing. The first week we kicked off with tips for couples. The second week was focused on families. The third week was focused on friendships. And now we're looking at how to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. And as I said yesterday, and as I've been saying all week, is that one of the things that we have a very difficult time is making sure that we're paying attention to ourselves. And my topic tonight is about paying attention to ourselves. We don't do well with that. And that's one of the things I really want to emphasize, because I think even I've been guilty of that. And so we're going to tap into that tonight because I think it's key. And if you're joining, let us know where you are joining us from. And we're going to get right into it because we know how it is with Facebook Live. People jump on, people jump off. But if you jump on, make sure you let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from, because I want to be able to say hello. So again, I am Sharon J. Lawrence. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I am the founder and sole practitioner for Sailor Wellness and Therapeutic Services located in Largo, Maryland. I am known as the self-carepreneur, or also as a therapist for therapists. I also provide therapy to other professionals and couples. Outside of that, or in addition to, I provide anger management groups, and I'm also a speaker and 4-time author, and I'm glad to say a best-selling author, Amazon best-selling author. And so I'm super excited about the things that I have been able to accomplish. But what I will say is that in the past 2.5 years, and probably way longer than that, I am known as somebody who is a doer. The running joke is, and if Angela Cameron ends up watching this, she has actually said it to other people, like, you got to be careful what you say to Sharon, because if you give her an idea, or if you say, hey, what about this? She's going to run with it. And the truth is, I do. I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can do that. Okay. And I'm just rolling and I'm getting it done. But the reality is that sometimes, like Sherelle pointed out last night, we're doing so much that we don't necessarily pause for ourselves. And so when that time does come, it's either by way of being ill, or you're just so worn out that your body says, hey, you have to stop. And I didn't want to keep being that person. So becoming the self-carepreneur, it wasn't so much about everybody else. This is going to sound selfish. It was about me. So if I had a chance to sit for 20 minutes, and just rest, I'm going to take advantage of it. Or if I don't want to move out the bed that day, I'm going to take advantage of it. Or if I don't want to go to that event, I'm going to take advantage of it. And because I knew it was important for me. And I also had to practice what I was sharing with others. I can't be the person telling people that, hey, you need to do A, B, and C. And then I'm at home going, that's for them. That's not for me. But the reality is that it's probably more for me than it is for them because of me pouring into so many people at times. And that can be extremely draining. One of the things that I tell people is that I am an introvert. And when they hear that, they're a little bit shocked. And what I call this, even being on this platform tonight, is me turning on the extrovert side when it's necessary, when I have to connect, when I feel like there is a need. So there's a part of me that I'm able to shift into gear to get through the snow, if you will. You know, there's a part of you that allows you to shift when you need to do the things that you need to do. But when it's time to come out of that, probably in about 30 minutes or so, I'm going to be able to say, okay, I'm ready. I'm calm. I'm ready to go lay down. So I know when to check out. It doesn't stay on too long. And so talking about paying attention to ourselves means that you have to respect yourselves. You have to be able to know what it is that's going on internally, and also what you need to do to reprogram yourself so that you can start doing better. So paying attention to yourselves is not a temporary thing in time. It's a lifestyle change. It's something that requires you to basically reprogram your brain. You are learning and using a part of your brain that says, hey, I have to start thinking differently so I can do differently. And when you're able to do differently, your behaviors change over time without reminders, without prompting. It becomes automatic because it also becomes priority. Okay? It's at the forefront always. Yes, Dr. Sapp says paying attention to ourselves, shifting into gear when you need to, and know when to check out. And so I said that because Dr. Sapp knows how, you know, driving in Buffalo, when we lived there, we knew what gears to put the car in if there was snow on the ground or if there was ice on the ground. So we knew what to do, but we also knew that depending on the conditions of the weather, we had to pay attention and make a decision as to whether or not we were going to leave the house, right? So there are times that decisions have to be made, again, that you have to go, don't move. Don't move. Stay where you are, because maybe you can't do that right now. And so you have to pay attention to those things. She says, paying attention to yourself is a lifetime change. Yes, thank you for adding these comments so that as people are coming on, they can grab these. Yes, you have to reprogram your mind. And so let's look at it from this perspective. I saw a post recently on Instagram, and it was posted by Live Well Behavioral Health Counseling Center. And forgive me, I don't know the owner's name, and I don't believe that she created this post, but it was that image of the matches all lined up. And it shows about eight matches, that have been burned. And the 9th match is pulled down, and the other matches are unburned, if that's a word. And if you notice, by them pulling down the match in that picture, it basically shows that by making one small change, you keep the rest of the matches from burning. That's how it is when you're making decisions about how you are to maneuver in life when it comes to having a healthy relationship with yourself. It says you have to pay attention to, okay, what is actually happening and where do I need to pause so I can protect my sanity? I can protect my peace. I can protect my routines. I can protect my new habits. I can protect how I speak to myself. What is it that I need to move down so I don't burn down all of the matches or burn all of the matches? And so by moving that one match down, it stopped the fire. And so that's how it is when you have to make decisions. You have to pay such close attention to who you are so that you know when to intervene and say, hey, let me make this pause before this goes left. Okay? It's just like if you're driving somewhere and you can see up ahead that, hey, traffic doesn't look so well. And then you start seeing lights and lots of lights. And something says, okay, let me make a detour, because if I keep going, I'm going to get stuck. The worst thing you want to do when it comes to having a healthy relationship with yourself is get stuck in a situation that you didn't have to be in the first place had you paid attention to the signs. Pay attention to the yellow lights and the blue lights and the red lights and the white lights, all the things that are saying danger, danger. There's something up here that is going to impact you negatively if you keep coming down this road. You have to be willing to do something different. Okay? So remember, pulling one away or pulling something away has the ability to stop the burning from taking place. You literally can change the trajectory of your life and your actions and your behaviors if you just make one small change or one small intervention. Okay? So we're about halfway in. If you're joining me, I can't see who's here unless you make comments. So please chime in. Let me know if you have any questions. This is about a healthy relationship with self. Okay? And I'm saying that because we're not talking about self-care routines this week. We're talking about how you speak to yourself, how you take care of your psyche, how you make time for you and your thoughts, how you reprogram those thoughts. Okay. And it also talks about how you connect to your humanness and you're not running on automatic or like a robot. I talk about that in my workshop called Balancing It All. And there are a lot of people who are on automatic, so they don't even know what's happening really to them until, stuff just kind of hits the fan. And what we're saying here is we're not talking about that temporary, 1 hour appointment where you get your feet done or you get your hands done. We're talking about that moment that you say, okay, I want to sit with my thoughts and really meditate and connect with myself. Or I want to sit and read this book and gain some knowledge and some insight about what I want to do in this year, or what do I want to do this week. Or maybe this is knowledge that can actually help me in how I see myself and improve my daily walk. And so a healthy relationship means that you are taking the time to connect with you. That is very important. What I also find as I'm thinking, I can think of so many examples, and I'm trying to make sure I pace myself because I love illustrations and analogies and sharing stories about different people that I may know, but I want to make sure you get it. So I'm trying to stay focused and pace myself. So bear with me. But one of the things I know is that we have a very hard time finding the courage to tap into the positive things that are happening in our lives. And sometimes we get way caught up in those negative things, those things that pull us down, those things that grab our attention, that keep us from focusing on ourselves. And I want to encourage you as I talk about courage over the next 15 minutes. We're already halfway through. So I know that the time in this 30-minute segment, it goes so fast. But when I encourage you, it's meant to also impart courage to you so that you can say, hey, I need to do something different. I looked at a definition. It says having the courage to do something is unfamiliar. And I added the word saying, but it's necessary. We don't often see courage as a necessity when we wake up in the morning to just put our feet on the ground. We just go, oh, it's what we got to do. No, we need courage every step of the way to accomplish things that have been, given to us. Whether it's parenting, whether it's friendships, whether it's marriage, whether it's workplace activities, what you may be a volunteer, whatever it may be, there's courage that goes along with completing those tasks. What I am challenging you to do is to have the courage to tap into who you are, to connect with who you are, and or define who you are, because some people don't even know who they are. Are you kind? Are you pleasant? Are you happy? Are you jolly? Are you at peace? Are you content? Are you angry? You may just be angry. And if you are, well, now we know. But is that where you want to stay? And if that's not where you want to stay, you have to then tap into what is it that you need to do to launch yourself into a whole nother atmosphere or realm, if you will. I just started reading, hey, Alicia. Hey, Michelle. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Please share if you can, and ask any questions, if you will. I love questions. So I'm surprised Dr. Vicky T. Sapp ain't throw at least 3 at me already, but she gonna get it. She gonna get it. And so I've been reading a book by Mel Robbins called The 5-Second Rule. And this is what she says. Every single day we face moments that are difficult, uncertain, and scary. Your life requires courage. And that is exactly what the rule will help you discover: the courage to become your greatest self. Here's the thing. People are often becoming their greatest self for other people, when the requirement is really about you becoming your greatest self for you. You are a gift to other people, yes. But unless you truly connect with who you are, how do you even know how to give that gift to other people? How do you know how to give your greatest self to anyone? You have to be able to tap in to who you are by having a relationship with self. I posted recently that I can't wait for 2020. My 2020 is about to be lit. I say, yeah, I'm saying it like young people. It's about to be lit. Gotta do that. What they call that, buck. It's about to be lit, right? But I wasn't. That's right, Alicia. What you doing? In 2020, it has nothing, in my mind, has nothing to do with tangible things. My 2020 has everything to do with how I see myself, regardless of anyone's opinions, regardless of anyone's feedback, regardless of anyone's lack of support, regardless of anyone's negativity. There's this meme where Shaq is, hitting up all the negative stuff. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I want to be able to function at such a level of peace that I'll see stuff, but will be completely unbothered. And if I am completely unbothered, that means that I'm more focused on the relationship with myself so that I can be the best version of myself. And then everyone else gets the benefit of the relationship that I have with myself. If I'm giving you all this great stuff, but I don't have a good relationship with myself, to be honest with you, you're really not getting great stuff. You're probably getting mediocre stuff, and you really don't know what great stuff looks like. So it's important that I have a wonderful relationship with myself and that I see myself in a different light. So that is key. You have to understand that courage is necessary every day. The minute you put your foot on the ground, it's necessary to be your greatest self. Mel Robbins also talks about that those 5 seconds are critical. So when you open your eyes, she talks about how you can either lay there and go, oh, I can hit the snooze again. Or you can say, let me get up now because I have an errand to run. Or let me get up now because I can shower and do A, B, and C. And she said that shapes literally the rest of your day, because those 5 seconds that you have, you're literally thinking of the positive. I know I'm reframing some things for those who are familiar with Mel Robbins. I'm reframing a little bit, but she's saying those 5 seconds are critical. So this morning I was like, let me get up. I need to do this. And then something negative popped in. I go, no, actually, I am wonderful. Oh, no, you know what? I can make this happen in the next 2 weeks. Oh, and before I knew it, I had a whole list of things. I already had a working list. Now I got another list. But the list is pertaining to me, not anyone else. And so as I take care of me, you all end up getting the best benefits of what I do for me if I take good care of me. Vicky T. Sapp, Dr. Sapp says, pause model. Yes. Pay attention. Acknowledge your assumptions. Understand your perspective. Seek different perspectives and examine your opinions and make decisions. Now, if somebody reads this, they would see this as in their actions and how they deal with other people. But in this moment, we're saying, do this with you. Do this with yourself. Whatever comes to mind, pause. Everyone knows Selah means to pause and reflect. It's in the Bible 77 times. In my business, my clients know that our mantra is pause, reflect, revive. You pause, you reflect on what's going on, you break that thing down, and then we come up with an action plan. What are you going to do? Okay? Pay attention to that. Dr. Sapp says, march to your own drum. Alicia Moody, she says, it's time to fall back and take care of ourselves so that we could get a chance to reboot and refuel. Absolutely. To get a chance to look at personal goals. It's okay to spend time in the cave. This is confirmation. I'm so excited to hear that. And here's the thing, you don't even have to be in a cave. The other thing, that's one thing, people will say, I'm going into a cave like they're going into hiding. You don't have to hide to take care of you. You don't have to make excuses for anyone. Not saying that that's what Alicia said, because that's not what she said. But I hear people say that all the time. I'm going into hiding. I'm going into the cave. And I'm going, you can sit on the couch. You can sit on your porch. You can be anywhere and establish a healthy relationship with yourself, tapping into who you are. Dr. Sapp says, yes, yes, yes. Yes, girl. Yes. I'm excited because I'm not waiting to 2020 to do something different. Some of these things I've already started putting into practice, but something shifted over the last week and I had to post about it. And I realized in that moment that no one could do this for me. I couldn't even get validation from someone if I wanted to, because it has nothing to do with anyone else. It has everything to do with me. So your journey is your journey. That's the extent of it. Even when it comes to family members, your spouses, your friendships, people can only be so much to you. And in some cases, they can't even be that, depending on the level of relationship that you may have with them. It may be healthier to not be connected. Either way, you have to establish something that's strong enough within you that keeps you grounded and keeps you motivated, regardless of the chaos that may be happening around you. If you are familiar with tornadoes and hurricanes, there's something about when you're in the eye of the storm, it gets very, very quiet. And that's how it can feel like, as if you're in the middle of the storm. People will think that the storm has passed or that the hurricane has passed, when it just so happens you're actually in the middle of it and it's causing havoc all around you. That's how it is. And you have to be willing to be at peace regardless of what's. That's what having a healthy relationship with yourself is about, that regardless of what's going on, you're able to shift back to a place of stability and equilibrium. It should be balanced. You have to control all of that. Alicia says, yes, quiet meditations and personal breaks during the day. Yes, we talked about that last night, Alicia, with Sharon Moore Tucker, and she talked about taking those quick breaks and, you know, finding time just for you to meditate. She even said how we meditate on things all the time. And I made a joke about it. I was like, yeah, we meditate on progress notes. We meditate on homework and bills and grocery shopping, things we have to do after work, because we never, you know, we don't always see those things as meditation. But she said, anything that your mind is focused on repeatedly or constantly, she said that's a form of meditation. I was like, wow, didn't see it that way. So that tells you that's another way that your brain works, that you have the ability to reframe and reshift how you think and focus on things. All right. So this is key. I just want to give you guys one more thing. I know we're coming to the end of the 30-minute segment, and I thank you ladies for joining me and, you know, chiming in and kind of what I'm saying. I appreciate that, and adding to it. In order to stay away from negative thoughts, I think that this piece is very important. You have to find ways to reframe constantly. So one of the things that I do with my clients when they come into the office, I've been doing this for about 3 weeks now, and I decided not to take it off of the board. I have 5 things that they need to do before they go into what it is that they want to process in the session. And it starts with, you have to list 5 good things that are going on in your life. And the first thing I always hear is, I don't know, I don't have anything. Oh my gosh, this is hard. And I go, it's not hard, it's simple. And when I give them an example, something as simple as, I woke up this morning. There was gas in the car and I didn't have to go get gas, you know, and they go, oh, okay, I can do that. And it's about being able to identify basic things that are actually good so that we can stop focusing on the negative so much. Find the good and highlight it. Celebrate the small things. Then the other thing is 4 things to do. They have to identify 4 things that may be on their things to do list that, you know, are important, but they want to try and tackle that week. All right. Then there are 3 self-care tips for that day. So if they did one already, that counts. But they should have 3 self-care tips for that day. And those 3 self-care tips can be sitting in silence and processing the day, or taking a bubble bath, or even going for a walk. Then this 2 is identify 2 people that you need to check on, just to say, hey, is everything okay? Because this is about having a relationship with you, but it's also about making sure that there is balance, that we don't get caught up in having a relationship with ourselves, that we dismiss other people. We don't want to be mean, right? Don't do that. And then the last thing is 1 positive word to describe you. And I often hear a lot, resilient. But I get super excited when I hear things like amazing and wonderful and awesome and optimistic and determined and open and happy and joy-filled. And when I hear those things, it shifts their whole perspective before they begin to talk about what they thought they were coming in to talk about. So hopefully these things will encourage you. I know that they encourage me, and I encourage you to be courageous on these 31 days of healthy relationships, healthy relationship tips. We have a few people, a few more speakers this week. Everyone has been amazing. I'm so honored and grateful for everyone that has joined me. We have a powerhouse of speakers who are clinicians and entrepreneurs and wellness experts who have just sold into you all. I'm so grateful. So thank you for joining me tonight as I share these tips with you. Let's see, I want to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Hey, Tamira. Dr. Sapp says, I'm open to all my team meetings with my staff with their sharing one good thing. And she says, yes, the ability to reframe and reshift. very powerful in understanding that we have control over holding and or reframing and reshifting negative things in situations. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And so as I do with my guests, I guess I should do with myself. I want to tell you what is coming up with me. And so in 2020, January 11th, I will be hosting our quarterly, me and Yvette Lee will be hosting our quarterly networking event for mental health professionals and helping clinicians, social workers, counselors, people who are in the DMV, and that will be held at the Office of Sailor Wellness and Therapeutic Services. Our guest presenter for that day is Sharon Moore Tucker, and we actually have some amazing gifts that we're going to be handing out. And when I say amazing gifts, I mean amazing gifts. You don't want to miss it. We've already had about, I think, like 20 people have registered. My office is not even that huge, but we're going to make sure people get in there and that they're comfortable and that they can get this information and have an opportunity to win some amazing gifts. I'll also be speaking at, I'll be on a panel at the COCO conference in April, and then it looks like in April, no, April. Got to get my dates right. In March, I will be speaking in Texas at the We Can Have It All conference. Women's Economic Conference, actually. And so I'm excited about that. That is April 17th and 18th. And then I will be kicking off the Desserts and Discussions 2020 tour. So I will be connecting with churches and organizations to make sure that people are aware of mental health and how to have healthy relationships, which is the journey that we've been on all month long. And then also, I believe it is March, got to make sure I get my dates right. In March, I will actually be in New Jersey at the Snyder Academy, speaking on healthy relationships as well and mental health 101. So we have some things that are definitely kicking off. I'm excited about it. So hopefully I will see you as I travel. And where can you find me? I am on Facebook, Instagram, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at My Sailor Wellness. I'm also on LinkedIn at Sharon J. Lawrence. And my website is www.mysailorwellness.com. So I thank you all who have tuned in, and I'm just honored again that you have been with me on this journey. This is day 25, and we're almost done, but we're at the point where you have created new habits. We're not talking about resolutions, we're talking about habits. So let's keep this train moving, and I'll see you all tomorrow night with Brandon Johnson. Everyone have a good night and Merry Christmas.